So we are back in game. Hello everybody. Playing Factorio today. I believe last time we had just acquired this pipe of oil and brought it back, hopefully relatively safely, to the main bus. So now we need to grab some more pipes and bring it over to where we actually use the oil. So let's grab some of those. And then this needs to go over this way. And then I guess it has to go up over that. And we need ground pipes like that in order to get under those belts, which it doesn't automatically place like it does with belts, which is a bit annoying, but ultimately fine. So we go under there again. Thank you, random vehicle in the background. Appreciate that. Alright, so we just have to keep going over this way until eventually we will reach where we need to put the oil. And I think we have to manual craft ground pipes. I don't think we have them automated anywhere. And this is going to apparently require a lot of pipes. And I'm not sure how many pipes we have. Hopefully it's a good amount. We have another 90 there. Let's see, if we go over here, nope, no ground pipes in sight. Although we can automate them easily, right? Just... Okay, wait, this is actually... So if we just go there, then we can grab from the box onto this belt. And let's blow up some trees real quick. Sorry for the environment. Alright, then we can put probably just like one of these in. Here we go, pipe to ground. And we take that up. And we take that up. And those have to face the correct way, obviously. And then it needs to output to a box. And get powered up. Alright, lab research speed 2 has finished. Alright, so can I just like back up a bit and look at more of the tech tree in general? Like where are we trying to go here? I guess processing unit would probably be the next big thing. I'm not sure if we want to go there though. Electric energy distribution 2. Sure, let's take that. Did I ever do chemical science? I don't think I did. I'm trying to remember. I think that's one of the ones I didn't do actually. So let's just do which of these? Inserter capacity bonus. May as well do that. And then weapon shooting speed. Just two things that are reasonably nice to have. The best upgrade, stack size, yep, should be quite helpful. Alright, how is this going here? Obviously, we're still going to have to fill up this box with just one stack. And based on what I've been seeing here, I think I want at least an additional stack of pipes. Alright, now we can just head down and keep on building this massive pipeline over. Will I have enough pipes to do this? Probably not. But will I have enough pipes to get started? Yeah, probably. Alright, under there. And then, where exactly are we trying to get to? Where is the nearest side of this pipeline over here that I can attach to? It's all the way over there. That's a lot farther than I would have liked. It's a lot farther than I would have liked. Okay, being attacked as usual. How are we going to get over there? I think we do need to head down and then over this way. And then go... Is this a real belt? I don't think that's a real belt. I think we can just get rid of that. And maybe I'll regret that, but it doesn't look like it's attached to anything. Alright, so we just keep on going. And then at some point we need to... Far out do I have to zoom? Pretty far out. So we need to get across this whole situation there. And then probably turn north afterwards. That's another belt which doesn't seem to be doing anything. This belt, I think, is doing something. At least potentially. Yeah, it definitely is. It's transporting the walls over to the science. Alright, so we just keep on going along. Still nothing to worry about from the attacks. And we just keep on ducking under random belts. Actually, this belt is definitely not relevant because it was destroyed at some point. So I guess we can just do regular belts for that. And now we're in the old starter patch, which I can just go straight through. None of this is in use. Okay, technically some of it is some of these are running. Like, I think literally just that one maybe, and a couple of those. And unfortunately, the ones that are running are right in the way of where I want to take this pipe. We can turn north early, I guess. That's fine. Forgot that you can't walk straight through the pipes. So that comes down. And those are all the pipes we have at the moment. Hopefully we're doing well on the pipe production over here. We just run along. And here are the pipes. And it looks like we have some more to spare. Another 60-ish. But it looks like filling up that box of underground pipes is gonna be pretty expensive in terms of regular pipes. Alright, so we run across, and then this needs to go up here. And across there. And we're almost there. Just gotta get rid of a little bit of extra stuff. Hopefully taking out power poles doesn't crash the grid anyway. Alright, then I need to get up past these belts, which I can just do like that. Why does that look weird? I guess it's fine. Alright. Pipeline has been overextended. Fun. What does that mean? And how do you fix it? With a pump, maybe? Let's make one of these. And I just pop that in. And then power it on. Then it seems to work. Alright, so that should help get enough oil for all of this stuff that I'm using oil for. That's nice. Then we need to, with that figured out, we need to figure out what we do next. Which I guess is probably chemical science. Now that we have all of this nice fancy oil everywhere. So, how do you make... What's the button for it? E? Yes, it's E. Alright, how do you make chemical science? Is there anything I want to make before then? We have all those productivity modules that we're making. Might want to figure out what's going on with that. So we need sulfur, advanced circuits, and engine units. So we have the circuits. We have the engine units somewhere. Did we put those on the bus? No, but we can. We just need to get sulfur over here, and then we can start making chemical science. In the meantime, we could do... We do need to put these in more places. So all of those are productivity moduled. Can I... Let's see. Pipes are probably not going to qualify, right? Because it's not an intermediate part. But engine units are probably an intermediate part. So let's make producing those more efficient. And what else? Is science an intermediate part? No. It's not even given it as an option. Although, is that just because these are Mark 1s? What if I made you all Mark 2s? Just so that you're faster. Oh, it is. You can productivity module science. That is good to know. And that needs to be upgraded as well. And oh, the resource efficiency, it's so great. So in you go. It's not a huge improvement, but it is an improvement. Alright, then we have iron sticks, which, what are those even used for? Probably just the one thing. Well, sure, let's... It's not like I'm got a particular shortage of these, right? So may as well just throw them all in where I can. And the gears are actually, like, really use a lot of stuff, so I would want to do that. And the green circuits are used for basically everything, so I think I want those to be more productive as well. I'm gonna have to run back and get more. Alright. All the way back to grab more productivity modules and keep the upgrades going. That should be more than enough. We're probably gonna overstress some resources somewhere by having them make another 100 of those, but that's fine. We need the resource efficiency the most. Alright, so all of those go in. Then we can do the same with wire. And these upgrades are pretty neat. And so technically it's like a little bit slower, but it's more efficient, which is the important part. Then we have all of those iron gear wheels, which I already did. And then we're mostly on to stuff that can't be moduled. So that is that. Then, what were we going to be doing? Right, chemical science. So we need to get sulfur over all the way to the other side of the belt. We should also make flamethrower turrets. That would be fun. But let's focus on science for now. So we need to get some sulfur production and then bring that over. Alright, so this is making plastic. And these batteries are all out of power. Placing all those productivity modules might have messed with the power grid. Let's check. Yeah, so we need more solar panels placed, I guess. Alright, so we head on over. And we're going to have to get more solar panels in to compensate for all of this insane power demand that we've added by making everything more efficient. We need more solar panels and more batteries, probably. So solar panels are all the way over here at the end. Just pick up 2 stacks of those. And let's see, this whole area is forested and annoying to place in, so I'm not gonna put them here. The walls are being attacked again. I should just do a run by to check what's going on over there at some point soon. Just to make sure that none of the walls are like almost completely destroyed or anything. Alright, so we have this whole giant pipe. Let's have it go underground so I can just get through. And then we get a lot more of these. And we just place them along like this. Alright, then we have to skip one line and then add more. And then add more. And then we skip a line and keep going. The solar farm is going to be pretty big by the time we're done with this. In they all go. And back up. Oop, that's all of them. I hope we have enough of the power poles. Alright, so then those go in. We need to connect those in there. Then those get attached in, as do those. And this whole row has to get added up. And then this whole row. Oop, but we're out of power poles. Alright, that's fine. So we also need to place a whole bunch of batteries, which find over here. Let's grab those. And we can, I guess, just continue this row of batteries just all the way along this way. And then skip one and place even more. And even more. Oh, I moved a bit and it moved my aim off. Alright, now we need to head back and get power poles to connect all this stuff up. And power poles should be relatively close to this side of the base. There they are. Just head in here. Grab 100 of those and run back. Alright. Science upgrade is at 74%. Power upgrade is... just need to drag these along. And then apparently exactly one of them got missed over here. Another one down there. And that is all that. And then we need to finish up the solar panel connections. So we need to put this row in. Like that. And hopefully that will be sufficient power. Not sure whether it will be or not, but it should be a lot anyways. Should be better. Yeah, the power poles are now looking fine. Obviously we're charging batteries even. Alright, so then we need to find where we make sulfur. So we have water and oil up here. Don't really do a very good job of outputting it. So does this only output specifically there? Yeah, seems like it. So we're gonna need another better oil setup. Finish the weapon shooting speed. Alright, we have finished all the ones that just require red and green. Now, I guess, let's do some random military research. Combat bot sounds fun. Alright, how do we get over here? So we can head around that way. Alright, so we need to combine the water and oil, make sulfur. Renegade, hello! Nice to see you again. We are making sulfur for science, basically. So we have some of those. We still need more chemical plants. So we get the refinery there. Then we have that come off of it. and a chemical plant, maybe 2. Because this is going to make 9 of that a second. And then this is going to use... Oh, it's going to use like 30 a second? Jeez, okay. That's... I guess we have to do that then. So this will be 27, which is almost enough to run this at full speed. Oh, and that's apparently the water input for it. Apparently they care about which one goes to which output. So we go there. Then those all connect up. And now we just need to get the water into there and the oil into there. So we're going to need more pipes because we're down to 6. So back to the base, all the way over here. Pipes, pipes, pipes. Where are the pipes made? Is there anything else we're short on while we're grabbing stuff? No, our hotbars all look fine. So let's just grab some pipes. Not get stuck on belts that are moving us about. You can flip most buildings with H and V if you need to swap input. That is good to know. Thank you for that. Appreciate the advice. For now it's just convenient the way it is, but it'll probably be useful in the future. Alright, so now we just have to run back. And then set up the sulfur belts. How's the power going? Because it is currently nighttime. It's looking fine. It's definitely going down. But it's high at the moment. Alright, so now we go over here. We just have to grab this. Added in 2.0 for some buildings like the chemical plants can be quite useful. Yeah, that seems handy to know. Alright, so then this goes along. And under that belt. And then up. Alright, now we just have to power these on. And so that is the petroleum gas done. And now we just take this pipe and we bring it along. And down into this. Alright, now we just bring power there. And oh, that's placed wrong, too far away. So that just goes there. And that goes in. Ooh, we unlocked the defender, that's fun. Let's see, refined flammables. Sure, more fire damage. Why not? Alright, then we need to power on the inserter. And now we have a belt of sulfur. Alright, this is still just walls being hit, which I'm still fine with. So now we just need to get this sulfur down to the bus. And I'm taking it straight into the busiest part of the factory, actually. I think it will be better if we curve around this way. This gun turret is probably not needed anymore. Probably. We're gonna get attacked. there, and then that gun turret would have saved us, and then I'll look like a fool as my entire factory is destroyed, but it's probably not going to happen. Alright. Trees, please go away. There we go. We didn't even... Oh, I was going to say we didn't even blow up the belts. Somehow, we still managed to not completely blow up the belts. So let's just put them back in. And then drag them along there. There's another random tree there. Don't want to use the underground belts for no particular reason. Alright, then this has to come around to... It's gotta go... It's gotta get down there at some point. May as well be now, I guess. Alright, get rid of some extra trees. And then we're going to need to grab belts again. Where are the belts? Over this way? Yep, they're over this way. We have our box down here. Inventory is filling up. We're going to need to figure out what we can drop soon. Oh, we can get rid of those walls, probably, the damaged ones. Alright, so this is just about as good a place as any, I guess, to bring the sulfur in, and this is going to be a problem if I ever need to expand the power poles, but now it should be fine. So we just need to get this across all of these, which is probably going to involve a pause, like somewhere in there, for example. And then we can take this belt and bring it down there. Excellent. And then down there. And then across this way. Alright, so now we need to get under all of this, which can go all the way. No, but we can go like there, and then there. Alright, also the research that I was just doing is finished. So let's put in landmines. Don't know if I ever will use them, but may as well research them. Alright, then the sulfur belt just continues along and is on the bus. Alright, so now we just need to make the science. So we start off with expanding all of these belts out a little bit. And a couple more of these. Alright, that should be good for now. Although it seems that I have slightly messed up my copper belt somehow. Let's just fix that so that those can work again. Alright, so now we remember how to do this. So we go something like, let me get over there, 1, 2, 3, 4. Put the splitter. Wait, no, wrong. Because the splitter has to be there. Because this has to go underground and across. Then we go 1, 2, 3. Still only walls getting damaged, nothing to worry about. Then this has to go up to there. So let's take that out and take that out. Then we have them skip across like that. And then go up like that. And now if we just hook that up, sulfur should make it all the way across the belt and up to there. Now the other thing we need for this is advanced circuits and engines. So the advanced circuits are these ones. So this all needs to go out. I really need... What is that? Like, there's like belt-proof armor or something, right? Start by crafting modular armor, I guess. That's something that I'm going to need to craft at some point. Alright, so then we get that. Oh, nope. I didn't mean to have that connected up. So then this is the output of that underground belt. Then these pipes go away and get their own underground belt. Then these go up. And yeah, I guess it may as well be just these same three. Just so that we can not have to mess with more than we need to. So then those go all the way across. And then that gets up. Alright, and then that connection gets made, and that is that. So I have this modular armor. The inventory is full again. Let's see. Can I just like... I guess I'll just like place this big electrical pole somewhere. Like, I don't know, up here. Congratulations, big electrical pole exists. So now we take that off, we put the modular armor on, and we have more inventory slots just in time. Also, we finished those. Rocketry, that sounds potentially very fun. Let's research that and probably use it at some point in the future. And then back to what we were doing. Oh, we can get belt immunity equipment to put in our modular armor. If I can figure out how to do that. Alright, how do we... Right click to open. Got it. So there we go, belt immunity. And now, it seems to do nothing. Consumes equipment grade electricity. Oh, got it, okay. So we need one of those, at least. And then we're going to need a battery of some kind. Do we have batteries on the bus, or are those just elsewhere? Yeah, I think we're making the batteries elsewhere. Alright, that's fine. What were we doing? Engine units, right. And those aren't currently on the bus, although they are just right here, available to be put onto it. So let's send that down, and that is the right one for it, so we just take those out. And then we're going to need to put them in there, which means we're going to need to get an underground belt to connect the sulfur across. Alright, now we take the engine units across, and we're going to have to send them all the way up as well. But we don't have fast underground belts anymore. Let's run back and restock on those. And should be right around here. There they are. Alright, so let's grab just both stacks of those. That should last us for quite some time. Now we can run back this way and finish what we were doing. So we go underneath that power pole, which is probably a very important power pole. Then we go underneath all of those. And then this has to come over here. And we need to output it. So we take all of those, put that in. Then we get those. Then we finish rocketry. I should really just queue up a couple things. So let's do that, and then that. And that should last us a while before I have to drop what I'm doing to queue up more research. Alright, so then we take this, and it goes up to there. Why did that happen? Oh, right, because of this. Alright, so then we need that to make it all the way over there. We need that to go all the way over there as well. Actually, we didn't, but that's fine. Alright, so then that, and that comes up. That does that, and alright, there's wire on the belt, but now it should just be the engine blocks. Alright, now we get to put the science in. And if we just do something like that to get both of those on a single belt, then bring both of these up, that should be everything we need. So then those get powered up and told to make chemical science. And then the chemical science that they make goes across and onto another belt. Alright, I see what looks like a relatively large biter attack actually just on the mini-map. I happen to notice that. Oh, and they're hitting a turret. Alright, we need to get over there fast. They might need our help. Right, no, it looks like it's fine, but a turret was damaged, which means the wall has been breached. Produce 1,000 advanced circuits per hour. Did I do that? Didn't realize that I'd done that. Alright. Oh, so they didn't breach the walls, they have ranged attackers now. That's concerning. We managed to deal with it, but that is going to need extra thick walls, probably. Don't really know how exactly you beat the ranged ones. We're just going to have to experiment, I guess. And these are also attacking in a place that hasn't seen much combat. It's going to be this one just heading straight north, I guess. Alright. This one also looks damaged, so we will give you some spare walls. And also, we crafted this solar panel, right? Alright, that consumes 100 kilowatts of energy. These output 30. So we need a whole bunch of those to actually be immune. And we also need some batteries so that we don't run out of our stuff during the night. And the batteries are being produced all the way over here. Up past this whole solar array thing. Alright, how many of these do we need? We need 5 batteries for one of these. It's annoying, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So we can make one of those, and then once we finish all this insane amount of crafting for the solar panels, then we can do that. Alright, what were we in the middle of? Right, we were in the middle of chemical science. I believe we had produced it, but not gotten it in to this area yet. So we need to get it back to the labs. Which is going to be quite a journey. Alright, get some trees down. And is this going to be long enough to just connect across? No. Okay, what if we go at a narrower point? How close is it? Pretty close, but no cigar. Also, are these not working? Oh, I never put these in. Obviously, that's important. There we go. And now those can run. Alright, so this, I guess it is going to have to go outside the northern wall, which is probably fine. Just going to have to expand past there at some point. Alright. Underground belt under the wall. And then you go across this way. And this is where the science goes. So we gotta chop down some trees. And in you go. Oh, need power there. Alright, now, is there actually science? Is it making it across? There is. Look at that. Chemical science is being supplied. So that is good. And do I have the fast inserters? Yeah, I wonder if I can just upgrade all of these. Because it looks like they aren't fully keeping up as slow inserters. So if we just make all of them speedy. And I guess may as well do this one as well, although I'm not expecting to have a huge amount of surplus of blue science. Alright, so that goes. We are having a red science problem. Fortunately, that's probably the easiest one to solve because it is right here. So let's just throw in another 3 of those. Put the recipes in. Looks like there's got to be a better way of putting the modules in. And then that goes up. And then this goes down. And we need to figure out a way of splitting these on to the belt. So I guess we would need to put the military science just onto the other side of the belt. Actually, I have some random science in my inventory that I could just throw in there. Just to save some slots. Alright, so let's power these on. Once we finished crafting those modules, so let's get power and a battery. And now with all of those, I can stand on belts without getting pushed around everywhere, which is pretty convenient. So now we just need to figure out how to get this red science across. So we obviously start by just powering it on, like that, and attaching the belts in, like that, and like that. So now we have additional science production, but not additional science transportation. So I guess this is somewhat cursed, but we can... where are... we're out of long-handled inserters. Let's grab some of those, and some quick inserters too while we're at it. So I'll grab some of the spare ones that it produced there. And some fast inserters. Alright, so we just take a fast inserter and we go there. That technically works. And now it's just down to a question of how much green science we have, mostly. That also seems to be quite poor. So let's get another... We can fit one more in, and that's it. And you get an inserter. Another one of these big attacks with the ranged ones. That's possibly going to be quite the problem. So that just goes across. And the power grid in this area is all messed up. But hopefully science is going faster now. And what are all of these? Energy shields. Sure, let's get an energy shield in. That seems handy to have. Alright, so energy shield. And if we throw that in, then boom, shield capacity. We now have defenses of some kind. So hopefully we'll die less easily now, which is nice. In the meantime, we're not actually using the blue science for our current researches. So let's queue up advanced oil processing and electric energy distribution. And then, also the fancier furnaces. Alright, so that should be a good research queue that'll last us quite some time with the number of labs that we currently have, which is not huge. And yeah, we don't have much green science. Hopefully that will solve itself. In the meantime, we should be automating some more stuff. So what else do we have that isn't automated but probably should be? Bulk inserters were unlocked recently. Those could be nice. Don't really need any of those. We have those. We have most of those. Haven't messed around with trains yet. Let's see. Cars we don't really need cars in mass quantities. All of this stuff seems very complicated. Concrete, so stone bricks and concrete can be used to increase walking speed, refine concrete even faster. Having 150% walking speed would be nice. That might be a worthwhile project. What else? Are there any of these things that we don't have automated? Because these are sort of the important ones, right? Because they go into everything else. We don't have explosives automated. We could automate it relatively easily. We have coal, we have sulfur, we have water. We could do more defensive stuff. Like with flamethrowers or something. Or we could automate refined concrete to be real fast. Alright, so first off, actually we're going to need a whole lot of stone bricks, which are going to be made in furnaces and be annoying. Alright, I think we're technically currently researching advanced material processing. Let's move that up so we can get the electric furnaces faster. And the rest of that stuff can wait. We're still going to finish refined flammables since we're 92% done. But I think our next task is going to be electric furnaces. And then after that, we can start worrying about... What was this? This turret is almost completely destroyed. We need to fix that. So you get to go back in and be filled with better ammo as well. But it does look like that base in particular is being quite the problem. So I might just deal with them. If I just head out, destroyed a couple of biter bases, and it hasn't been horrendously difficult to do. So how much ammo do we have? This is 300 ammo, 52 grenades, and we have 13 gun turrets. Should be enough, should be enough. So we're going to run down, and we are going to deal with this base. Alright, down we go. Oh boy. That is... I was not quite expecting them to show up just then. Managed to deal with them relatively easily, though. And then they're just going to keep on siphoning in here, huh? Alright, so I need to set up a turret and give you some ammo. So that's a fallback point now. We're not as close to the base as I would like for us to be. But... oh yeah, they just chewed through that turret, huh? It's actually a bit of a problem, isn't it? They can get through a turret that quick. Alright. Turret needs defenses. And there's still a lot of them. There's still a lot of them, and can't quite get close enough. Alright, let's try building just a defensive wall first. Alright, so then that should protect the turret that we are now going to put in it, which is now armed and ready. And now we just throw grenades at these structures until... alright, we got one of them. It looks like the turret was able to defeat the... alright, we need to rebuild that turret so that it isn't on the brink of death. Then we just keep blowing up these. Alright, we've gone through our entire energy shield. And we're not doing great on grenades. Yeah, okay, so we are going to need to kill these by just placing turrets in front of them. Alright, so then we just put a turret there and power it up. And Biter is defeated. So hopefully that should stop those attacks. Let's just pick up the turrets that remain. Leave the walls there, I guess. Alright, so now we grab all those. And hopefully that will prevent the attacks from that direction. Now we can run back. Our battery is already depleted. So that's the disadvantage of it being nighttime. Our personal solar panels aren't working. And as a result, we're also getting pushed around by belts. Alright. Yeah, we could really use faster movement speed along this belt. It's just takes a very long time to get from one side to the other at this point. Alright, how do you craft these? Steel plates, advanced circuits, and stone bricks. So let's just get started on the production lines for those. So we have steel plates are on the belt already. I think stone bricks probably aren't. Yeah, we just have those walls there. Alright, so we need to go up here and grab this belt of stone bricks. Actually, we need to resupply on belts. We're down to 29. Not sure when that happened, but there we go. Problem solved. Now we run on back. And this belt is going to need to go onto the bus. So it skips past all of those. And then it's going to come over here. And then, how do we get out of all of this? I need to figure out where exactly we're going, because this is a very cramped area. Alright, so these belts aren't real. They are old and no longer used. So we can do that. So now we have stone bricks here. We can bring them along this way. And somehow it got some wire on it. Some inserter probably that got confused. Alright, then we get over here. We are making progress on our goal of getting towards the bus. I guess we can probably sneak under that. Not quite, actually. Just barely too short. Alright, so how do we get over there then? Because this is our actual steel production. So we don't want to mess with it. And that's our copper production. Don't want to mess with that. I guess actually what we can do is we can go down here. And just go the long way around. Alright, so this then keeps going there. Doesn't go onto that belt. It just keeps on going. And now we can just drag this all the way over to where the bus goes. Still under attack, this time by that corner. That's fine. Alright, so we need to get even further. Alright, so that keeps going. And I think we do need to go down to get around all this stuff. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. You go down around there. And then past the wall. And we need to make an opening there. And, oh, how has that happened? How are we getting ammunition on this? So I guess we just have to go one further. Sorry about that. Happened too fast for me to react to it. Alright, so then we have to get all this ammunition off of this belt. And then figure out why there doesn't seem to be any actual stone bricks on it. Alright, so then we just have to get along there. Need more underground pipes for us to get through. And now we're on the other side of that wall. We can go up and around. Alright, so we have that belt. Now we need to figure out where all the stone bricks have gone, because obviously the answer is not onto this belt. So we're looking for a spot where the belt got interrupted somehow. It isn't flowing properly. It's also technically possible that we're using every single stone brick we make. But that feels wrong. Alright, still all the way back here, no stone bricks. Alright, no, it is just massive amount of usage. And also one of the miners has gone down. Alright, so let's get those in, I guess. And we need to power them. So where is that? There. And there. And I think we're still manual crafting the miners just because we hardly ever need them. Maybe. So let's get some more of these on. Those can all cover like that. And then go around and onto this. Alright, then we're going to want even more. Need to get rid of some of these rocks that are in the way. It's ironic, getting rid of rocks because they're in the way of you mining rocks. Alright, then these all go in and provide even more mineral rocks for us. So there we go. Now our stone brick supply has increased dramatically. And hopefully enough that some will actually get past this gauntlet of walls. I'm surprised that we're still using so many walls. Okay, it's backed up all the way to here, but not quite all the way back to the assemblers. Oh, speaking of assemblers, let's upgrade those. And they can't be made more efficient because it's an end product, but at least they're going faster. Power grid is still looking fine. Some production is 10 million from the solar panels, 8.9 technically. And consumption is somewhere around like 5 million. So yeah, should be good then. Hardly ever need to use the steam engines. Alright, so I guess we just need... I mean, really, if we have the faster furnaces, we can upgrade these furnaces to go faster. And then that'll help us make more furnaces faster. We're at 99% on material processing. There we go, we got it. Alright, so now we can make 2 of those and then run out of steel plates. So let's head down and grab some of those. Make another 2, and now we're out of stone bricks, which we can't just grab because we are out of stone bricks everywhere. Alright, so now we can clear steel furnaces out of the hotbar, put electrical furnaces in, and they're a different size. However, they don't need coal, so it should still work, probably. So if we take all of those out, and all of those out, and the coal line out, then we put these in there. Alright, then we need to bring the power line across as well. So then we have that, and we have that, and we have that. So then we just set these back up again. And are these faster than crafting? So steel furnace crafting speed 2. Electric furnace also crafting speed 2. But is bigger, so we have less of them. But you don't need coal, which is nice. So this has slowed that down. Ooh, but we get modules in now. That's handy. Did we give these speed modules? Because that will make them keep up more. I'm going to need to head over here and grab some speed modules. If I even have them automatically producing at this point. They're prioritized after the production modules, so we might not have many of them. We should have some. Yeah, we have, looks like a box of each type. Alright, so let's just grab those. And I guess just have a stack of efficiency modules just to have them in case I ever want to use them. Alright, so now we can head back over to here and fill in the rest of those with speed modules. Alright, you get speed, and you get speed, and now these are zooming. So there's only 3 of them, but they do a whole lot. And then we just need these. Yeah, we can't give those productivity modules, unfortunately. And they're slow because of an ingredient shortage. We only have a small amount of steel bricks. So let's get the last furnace in, and we should be able to just hook it up relatively easily. So we just have to, I guess all the way back here is where we have space, which isn't ideal, but is fine. So we take this, it comes down, and that's actually not, it needs to go a little bit further. So it needs to go like that, so that we can fit in more in the future. And then we just take that out. And fill, oh no, don't do that, don't do that. Grab all that stuff real quick. And you can also be super fast. So now we have a whole lot of stone brick production, at least relative to what we had before. So we have the same number of furnaces, but they're all, like, what, 40% faster? So hopefully that should keep up with all these soon. So let's just make those fast belts, just so that it isn't weird and stop and start. And that, let's see, we don't have, we need stone bricks to make stone bricks. So let's stand here, grab some stone bricks, make another one of these, and pop it in, and inserters go across, and become fast. Now, hopefully in the future we'll be able to swap to productivity modules once these are less swamped, but we just need lots of stone bricks relatively quickly for now. But it looks like we have caught up to demand. Alright, yeah, let's swap the productivity modules. I really just don't... More than I want this to be fast, I don't want to run out of stone bricks. So, productivity. We'll see if... I mean, they should be able to pretty easily keep up with this. Alright, so off we go. And now we have a good solid supply of stone bricks heading down to the bus for us to automate these furnaces. So now we head on over. And just keep walking. And there we go. Stone bricks are piling up at the end here. Very slowly, but they are piling up. Alright, so then we need to actually create the setup for them. And I just realized I don't have any grenades, which means we're going to have to tear down these trees manually. Alright, that should be good enough deforestation for now. Just get that last one. And we're going to need to expand the bus out, and probably going to need to grab more belts, down to 60. So this goes forward like that. And I've just noticed that the steel belt is quite far behind, as is the advanced circuits, which is maybe less surprising considering how much stuff we use that for. And here it is. Yep, that makes sense. So we just need to connect those two across to fix that problem, and then we run back, grab some belts. Alright, back we go. Here is the old Boxo belts. And let's grab a stack of grenades for deforestation in the future. And then we head back. Alright. Off we go. Looks like the plastic is starting to stock up, which is good to see. We've got plenty of sulfur. That's not a problem at all. Yeah, it's these are a shortage. So let's just place just another 3 of them. Don't want to waste materials, so we're going to set them all to that. And then just connect them up. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. And do that. And bring those across. Now we just do the old power. And that should more than double our production of engines, which should probably just straight up double our production of chemical science. So altogether we have like 0.14, 0.21, 0.28, 0.35 engine production. And then over here is where we use them. And yeah, so this should give us plenty of spares, because if these are 0.06 seconds. The problem was we had 2 instead of 3. Now we have 5. So that shouldn't be a concern. So now we just need to set up this. So steel plates, advanced circuits, and stone bricks. So we're going to start with stone bricks. Down here, looks like we're going to need more portable solar panels. And more batteries as well. So let's get another 3 of those in, because it is almost daytime and I've run out of power. I've run out of conveyor belts, which means either we don't have enough power production or we don't have enough power storage. Power storage is more annoying to set up because we need batteries, which are all the way on the other side of the base. Alright, so now we go 1, 2, 3, 4 of those out. That goes in there. Then you get 3 out. And then these 2 connect across. Alright, then we need this one to go up to here. I need to run up. Oh, inventory is full. Okay, we have like a billion random stuff in our inventory. Let's just put a box down and put like all this random junk that we don't need in there. Like, these are all things that I'm not going to miss having, and like if we're desperate for stone or coal or iron or something, then we can go to this box and grab some of those things. But we just don't need them clogging up the inventory. We don't need the 2 sets of armor. That should be helpful for that. Alright, I didn't want to actually put that belt back in because we need to take it out. And then take that one out. And those 2 just run across. And then that comes up. Alright, so that is stone bricks. Then we need advanced circuits. So we need to take 1, 2, 3, 4 out of that. And 1, 2, 3 out of that. Then those go across like that. We get the splitter. And we get that in. Just barely too short. So that has to go across like that. And that comes up. And then that goes in. Alright, advanced circuits, check. Last step is the steel. So we have to go 1, 2, 3. Actually, we need this to go a little bit further. Just so that just so we have belts past where we're going, so you know we're not messing it up. Alright, then we get that in. We go 1, 2, 3 out there. Then those go across. That goes up. And just like that, we have our 3 items, which the steel can just go into that. Then this can just go up there. And then we have the electric furnace. And you get both of those and a power pole. And then you output to something, which is frankly just going to output into a box for now. I'm going to want like 1 stack of those. And then just for the purpose of me being impatient, we're going to get another 2 of those in. Just so that this goes a bit faster if we need it to go faster. Alright, so then all of those get set up. And then we get power and power. And we set those across. And there we go. So that should be those. And now we just need more red circuits basically for everything, always. Let's go back, see if there's anything we can do about that. This goes up about as far as we want it to, and it's actually a shortage of green circuits, which is causing the issue. Let's run back, see if we can solve that problem. So we just trace green circuits back to here, and that is being caused by a lack of wire, at least in large part. So let's get another couple of these in. Just go all the way up to that. Although I actually see that the lack of wire is being caused by lack of copper. So this isn't probably going to solve the problem on itself. Alright, so then those all go in. These sort of shortages are exactly why we need to use production modules and everything. And then we need to figure out what, if anything, is going horribly wrong with the wire. And also we might want to upgrade this belt. So just make all that go faster. And I don't know, maybe that'll help it a little bit. But the big problem is definitely copper. And let's see, we have 4 steel furnaces making copper. Oh, it's 6 actually. There's another 2 over there. Alright, so step 1, we need to run over and grab whatever electric furnaces we have, so we can stop using all that coal. So we're about to get electric energy distribution 2, so that'll be handy. So we go over here, and we've got 10 of them. Not a huge number, but should be good for now. Alright, so we've finished all the researches in our queue. So then, next up will be... let's see here. Which of these do we need? Maybe lubricant, maybe processing unit, maybe low density structures. Probably not uranium mining just yet. Let's just go with those for now. And then we need to run back and figure out what is going on with our copper mining and smelting. It could be a mining issue, could be a smelting issue. We will run over and see. Alright, so it looks like... yeah, it looks like there is enough copper on the belts, and it is just a problem of not smelting enough. So let's make that problem a lot worse real quick by tearing all this out. then this coal belt doesn't need to be here. Those inserters are not in the right spot either. So then this goes... How have I got coal and ore on those belts? How did that even happen? Well, we're gonna have to fix that at some point. For now, let's just finish the building we were doing. So let's get like a lot of these in there, and then we're going to need to adjust the belt placement a little bit to account for the larger size, so this is going to have to come out. So then we put... Yep, that's going to turn the entire factory off. We put it back in. And then we put in the second row, which is just there. Then we just drag the belt up. And we reconnect everything in. Like that. And like this. Then we just need to put in the output belt for this one. And they go out there. Now let's power everything on up. And get those ones. And get those outputs. Alright, so now we are making plates again. And this belt needs to connect up there. Alright, so we have all those. And now let's productivity module them so that we don't run out of copper anytime soon. Alright, so all of these modules go in. And alright, that is that. So now that should be more efficient. Now we need to track down, first of all, how did coal get onto those belts? Probably weird stuff with inserters getting confused. I don't think it's a problem, but we are going to need to, unfortunately, track down all of that and see if this got anywhere else. There's some there. Did it get further along the belt? Doesn't look like it. Looks like that is that. And problem solved. Alright, so now we have all of that. We should probably look at the copper supply, see how these are going, and look fine, I guess. Yeah, I mean, like, nothing wrong with what's going on here. Let's just add in... Let's just add in these ones. So you add in a bit of extra copper, just from 2 extra miners. No reason not to. And now that should be pretty good. Alright, copper supply, how are you going? Still clearly just not keeping up with the demands for wires. But it's the best we can do for now. Let's head back, grab more electric furnaces and expand that row across. Yep, this is looking better, I guess. The fancy chips are not looking great, though. We only got another 6 out of that. Yikes. Alright, let's head back and just place these 6 in to continue upgrading our copper supply. We evidently need a lot of it. Although maybe this is producing at full speed now. It looks like it might be. But let's get another couple smelters in just to make sure. So these can go up to there. And the belts don't go underground, they just go across. And then this belt goes all the way up to the top. And in all of those, and out the other side. Then we power all that up. And we give these the modules. Alright, so that should be even more copper plates. And hopefully starting to get close to the point where we're keeping up with all this demand. And do I have... Yes, I do just have some spare copper plates in my inventory that I can make sure they don't go to waste by throwing them in there. I also have ore as well, which... Let's just do that. 99% of that is just to clear out the inventory of random junk. Should also help this very marginally, I think, though. And now we can see that the copper production is not enough to keep up with this, which is fine, completely expected. Let's get some more miners in. Do I have miners already? No, let's craft up another 4 of them. And we're going to need to clear up some space. Can we get that there so that it connects up? Yes, we can. Alright, so then we can get another, let's just say another 2. And they can go across. Now we're getting a lot closer to fully utilizing the copper patch, which is important. And we can't... Oh, we can actually give these modules. Give them a lot of modules, actually. Let's go productivity modules all the way. Just, you know, every step of this that you make more efficient, they all scale on top of each other, you know? So if we make every step 10% more efficient, the final result is going to be like 80% more efficient or something like that, if there are enough steps. So we are out of productivity modules, so we're going to have to run back. Oh, and apparently something we did in there disconnected this whole thing. Whoops. Alright, we're back. I guess that gave the copper ore some time to pile up on the belts. And this entire setup is very hilariously fragile in terms of the power poles. Like, if a biter eats the wrong one, the entire, literally 100% of the factory just goes down instantly. Which is why we just have to make sure the biters don't grab any of them. Let's grab those, and that's gonna be very, very unpleasant on my circuit supply, which was already the problem before that, but it is what it is. Speaking of biters, the southeast wall is under attack again. Once I finish putting these modules in, I should head down there to make sure that nothing unfortunate is going on. There you go. Become efficient. And there you are. Alright, let's just do a quick check down here. Yeah, okay. Good thing I did. Those walls are definitely getting a bit beat up. Mostly fine, though. We're all seeing a lot of green down there. There was just the couple directly in front of the turret, which were starting to get worn out. Alright, now let's run up and grab some more batteries. Yeah, so the entire... We need to expand out the solar network even more so it doesn't last through the night. But let's grab a bunch of those and put in some more batteries for my personal... What are they called? Equipment grid? Alright, so then we get you... And we get you, and we get those three. And that should be better. Alright, so the question is, and unfortunately I can't tell this right now, is this a storage problem or a production problem? And actually, how well does the power hold up? So we can get 10.8 megawatts out of the steam turbines even while the solar is down, which is helpful. But of course we are mostly relying on solar power for this, and we need more of them. Although actually I think probably upgrading the steam power is gonna be quicker, at least for a short-term solution. Although maybe not. I mean, this is kind of a whole giant mess up there. Yeah, let's just drag in a whole bunch more accumulators. And a whole bunch more solar panels, and then just see what happens. So all of those go in. And then we get all of these in. And then we're going to have to continue this on the other side of the belt. And let's get rid of that wreckage so we can do that better. And all the accumulators go in. And we get another row there. And a third row here. So if the problem was battery capacity, this ought to solve it. I just placed 2 power poles within millimeters of each other. Alright, so those are all in. And I might have to actually, do some math here. Actually, it's broad daylight and they still aren't charging up. Yeah, so we put in all of those... We put in all of those things and all those productivity modules, and now power consumption is through the roof. So we're going to need a lot more solar panels. So let's go here and expand them, just basically forming a giant wall of panels on this entire side of the factory. We're going to need to not run into a random rock there. We're going to need to head back, grab more solar panels, and place a whole load of them. Because this needs to grow significantly. Yep, alright, back to the other side of the factory to grab some solar panels we go. And in the meantime, copper production seems to be going well. Green circuits look fine. Which only really makes me more suspicious. Like, how is that solved so quickly? I guess red circuit production is just remaining to be slow. Let's grab another 100 of those. And I think stockpile up to 4 stacks of solar panels. Just because when we need to expand, we are going to need to expand a lot. Alright, so now we can just run across the belts. And let's get back to the solar farm to place some more of these. Alright, here we are. And don't get them off center like that. We need to get rid of these rocks. This is where the solar panels farms are going to go. So this expands all the way down this way. And don't be off center. Keep on placing these in. And keep on placing them in. And finish up this batch of rows. Alright, finish off that row. Then finish off that row, and apparently we have 2 left. Alright. Oh, and this was supposed to have a gap there. And now we just connect all these panels up, and then tomorrow we will have more production. Alright, so those all go in. Then those. And apparently we didn't line this up quite correctly. So we actually need to go in here and then down. And then these will be lined up correctly. And finally those. And last but not least, this little corner in here, which has to be a little bit different because there's a pipe there, but not to a meaningful degree. And hopefully that'll do it. So yeah, the batteries are charging up. And if we look, the solar panels are 13.4 megawatts, up to like 14 megawatts now, and climbing slowly. Then a lot of the demand is the accumulators charging. Then without those, then we have what, like 20, like 19-ish? Yeah, even with all of these solar panels, it's not enough to break even during the day without the steam turbines. So that is brutal. We need so much, and then I don't think that these accumulators are going to last through the night either. Because this is 900 megajoules. Yeah, it's hard to say, but this is 925 megajoules. Now once that's capped out, the steam engines drop off and leave it to just the panels, which are capable of barely holding the entire factory together. And the good news is that obviously most of these aren't using their maximum capacity, although the assembling machines apparently are. So it's tough to say. I'm not good at math. What does accumulator charge? Okay, that just says what's obvious. So if this, let's just do it simple. If this is 1 spare megawatt and these are like potentially 9, then that's 10 megawatts spare over the course of the day, which you obviously need like 17, assuming the night is equal to the day, which I think it is. And then the accumulators all filled up very quickly. So yeah, I don't know if that is going to work. If we find the solar panel research, I wonder if there's like a more, if they're like solar panel efficiency upgrades or battery efficiency upgrades or something. Those would be handy to have if they exist, which I'm not sure they do. So we go back to logistics science. Solar energy, what upgrades does it have? Okay, rocket silo, and a whole bunch of stuff which I don't think is needed. Yeah, I mean, none of this looks like it's just efficiency upgrades. And then we need to find, let's see, if we go to batteries and electric accumulators, then yeah, no, it just leads into rocket silos. So there are seemingly no upgrades coming for all that, which means that this is what we have to work with. So we probably need more accumulators. Also could be just like letting the factory chill out might be enough, because it's currently working pretty hard with all the new stuff I've built, and it doesn't necessarily need to be doing that. Alright, as far as science is concerned, we're very short on blue. I assume blue science is short on red circuits, because everything is. Yep. Seems to be the case. Alright, we need more red circuit production. It looks like the green circuit production is fine. We just need red circuits. So can we fit if we take this out, which, like, I have never actually used any of these. Oh. Put that back in. So if I just take this whole thing out and just make another row of red circuit production, that would probably help a lot. So we start with the inserters, which have to go along here. Then the long inserters, which go along here. Then we have the power poles, which go up to there. And then we have the output, which, yeah, we should be able to sneak it through the bottom there. So that goes in. Then all of these get outputs, which are not powered. Oh, the top output didn't reach. So that goes in there. And we are running low on power poles, annoyingly. So we just do something like that. We have one power pole left, that's all we need. And then we shift right click, shift left click, and we get all those going. Then this just needs to come along, go under that, and over here where it can just connect into that. And that should be helpful. Oh, but really the problem is a lack of plastic, not so much a lack of machines. Got it. Okay. So what we've done here is actually made the problem slightly worse by putting in machines that don't have productivity modules yet. So all of these can go in. And now we need to upgrade our plastic supply. So we run over here. And there sure are a lot of belts. Where even is the plastic? How much are we making? Not much. We're making 2 a second. That is plastic, right? Yes, plastic bar. And it's just coal and petroleum gas. Alright, so this is another one of these things where we need a whole lot more of these in order to feed the one machine. So let's take that out, where oil refinery needs steel plates and circuits. So let's grab some of those for the circuits. Let's grab some plates off of this random belt here. And not enough. Alright, so let's grab some of those plates and some of these circuits, and then we also need stone bricks. Alright, so let's get a couple of those queued up. Then we can head back over here. And get 3 more of these in, like that. Okay, now we just run this pipe across, And then we run all of these in. And power that back up. So now that should be solidly 3 times as fast. Although somehow we barely managed to dodge powering that one up. So let's get that one in as well. And hopefully the increased plastic will make a difference. Hopefully. All of these seem to be working. That's good. How does the pipeline go? I wish it would show like the total amount that could possibly go in versus that could possibly come out, just so that I know how the oil supply is doing. But it looks fine to me. And we clearly have a lot more plastic bars going out than we did a moment ago. And hopefully those will reach the red circuits, and then that will be solved. We really need to probably not too far. I mean, the thing is, like, every bit we can stall off rebuilding the base, we get more technology to do it better. But we also can productivity module those, which will help a lot. Alright, then we're almost done with those productivity modules, which should divert a much larger percentage of these down to science. But yeah, at some point soon, we're going to need to either rebuild the base or just heavily redesign it and retrofit what we already have, because this is starting to become a bit of a mess in a lot of ways. Now, what do we have available to unlock that would matter? Mining productivity would be good. A lot of these are like sort of optional, right? Then we have this, which is assembly machine 3s, but requires purple science. Then we have all sorts of crazy stuff there. Ooh, robotics. Robotics sounds fun. Yeah, let's see if we can... Let's enqueue that. What does this lead to? Okay, so this leads to module number 2s, which are going to be more efficient. And then there's that, which is also going to be a whole thing. Yeah, it looks like there is a lot to do. And then this leads to mostly personal stuff, looks like. But yeah, the electric engine leading to robotics is probably going to be super handy to have. Because yeah, logistics robots to manage my inventory for me, construction robots to build stuff for me. It's going to be great. And then those are just utility stuff. Alright, so we have some stuff that we're working on. This is, we seem to have messed this up quite badly. Yeah, okay, so these can't go on like that. We need to be sneakier with them, because I'm relying on the fact that that side of the belt is open. So they need to just come around like that, so that they all ultimately wind up on the same side of the belt. And then we're going to have to clear all of that out. And hopefully that should solve that problem. So 2 of the 3 are working. That's not terrible. We are getting blue science again. Do I have... Probably have some in my inventory that I can just throw in there to get that working for a little bit at least. And actually I also have sulfur that is just taking up inventory space. Let's get rid of that. And let's get rid of some engines. Always good to clear up inventory space into machines when you can. Alright, so the plastic is still clearly a significant issue, but now we're back to the point where the green circuits are a slight problem, which is actually a good sign because it's a sign of how much our plastic situation has improved. So let's head back to the green circuits. And green circuits are short on wires. Wires are still just short on copper. Yep, that figures. Alright, so if we just head over here, then these also have ingredient shortages. So, where can we find more copper? So we can tear these belts out because they're not real, and we can put more machines down here. We're still getting attacked every so often, but it's a lot more infrequent now. Alright. So then we just have to place a couple more of those in. Oh, we ran out of fast underground belts. Alright, that's fine. We're just gonna have to... We also ran out of power poles. Okay. Opened something there that I didn't want to do. Alright, more copper onto the belts. And let's get another one. And get more of those in. So now we're using probably like 85-ish% of this copper patch, maybe more. Hard to say, but pretty good number. Alright, so then we should put productivity modules on these so that they don't waste copper. And then hopefully that will make a small but meaningful difference to the copper shortage. In the meantime, we should probably productivity module up the iron patch as well. Just because that one isn't even seeing a supply shortage. So if we can just make it last longer, there'll be basically no consequences. Oh, the plastic is even backing up because of the lack of electronic circuits. That's not really what you want, but... Alright, so now we head up here. And there's gotta be a way of copy-pasting modules. Let's see if we go in here. What are these? Circuit network. Yes, that's just for information stuff. Are none of these about modules? No. Alright. How about Factorio? What do you have to say about modules. Is there any hint of how to make it be faster? Nope. Alright, well, I guess we're just gonna have to keep doing this the sad manual way. Alright. So this one off in the very corner has run out already. Not terribly surprising, it was just barely on the patch to begin with. This is why we need to put all these modules in. And unfortunately for our copper situation, we're gonna need a restock on productivity modules. And it looks like actually these ones over here are the ones that are being used the most. So let's make sure that all of them get productivity modules. And then we just pop down here and grab us another stack of these. Just one stack for now, because we're getting pretty close to the point where we don't need many more upgrades except when we build new stuff. Alright, modules keep on going. And just fill all of these in. And then we will have nice and efficient iron production. Alright, just this last sort of bit here. And there we go. That is, I believe, everything. Cool. Now, also remember that at some point along this way, we ran out of Mark II belts and started using Mark Is. It must be here. We actually need underground belts, and we need power poles. Let's grab 100 of those, and whole bunch of these as well. Restock on belts while we're passing by. Alright, so that is all good. This is looking mostly fine. Let's just upgrade that little bit in there so it's slightly less awkward. Then we have all of this. I mean, we're clearly not running into belt speed limits on the copper. That's the opposite of the problem we're having. So I guess we could like flip this around. Let's just see. At some point in here is going to be where we need to start doing the upgrades. Is it all the way back here? Alright, so yeah. Back there, it's red. And right there is where we switched over. So now we can drag this all the way along, use a whole bunch of belts. But this will be nice and quick then. I don't know if we're running into belt speed limitations on those. We probably aren't, but it's of course always good to just make sure. Alright, then go down and around. And that's that. Alright. So the iron is cooking along. We obviously put in a whole bunch of belts, so those are going to have to be crafted. The copper is going along. The wire is definitely Definitely getting stretched to its very limits here. But there isn't really a way we can fix it. We run into these belts up here if we want to do more. And it's primarily a copper limitation rather than a wire production limitation anyways. So we would only be able to get it a little bit faster there. This production is quite quick though. I mean, it's a good portion of the Mark I belt. And then it is just a question of how fast those are running. So this is also using green circuits, but it has just finished. So that is good, because that will mean more green circuits go up here, which means faster production for it. And of course, ideally, we wouldn't need to worry about that sort of thing, and they would just all go in, because we would have enough to do both, but we don't. Alright, so those are just going to be filling up the backlog a little bit more. And then they're going to stop using red circuits. And once green and red circuits aren't going this way, then our science can start cooking again. We've been working on processing unit technology for ages at this point. But this is... I mean, it is working. That's working, and this is working too. So it looks like we might be getting to a point where all is going well. I really hope that we are. Let's see here. Let's research processing unit, figure out what the next thing is to do there. Alright, so substation. What is this? Let's manual craft one. Is it just going to be like a gigantic area? Alright, let's cancel that. Manual crafting is awful. Let's just grab some red circuits from here. And then just craft the substation itself. Yeah, so this is a 2x2 that powers up a massive area, basically. That's handy. So we're probably going to want those. Probably going to want to automate those. Then we have all of these things for the advanced oil processing that we unlocked. And so we have advanced oil processing, which gives heavy oil, light oil, and petroleum gas. So this is 100 to 45 petroleum gas. This is 100 to 55, but it adds water, which isn't really a big deal. Then it also produces heavy oil and light oil. So heavy oil we can transform into light oil with water. We can convert light oil and water into more petroleum gas. And we don't need to worry about that one. Then we can make solid fuel from light oil or heavy oil, or we can make lubricant, which probably does something. And those are all of the new recipes from there. So this is obviously like dramatically more efficient in terms of making petroleum gas. So what we need to make heavy oil and light oil both into petroleum gas, theoretically, to be most efficient. Yeah, so it's going to be a thing where you have to get the ratios correct for that. Alright, we'll probably do that next time. It's like 425 at the moment, and the petroleum gas isn't really the main shortage that we have right now, at least. We'll see what happens with the processing unit research. Alright, there we go. We're actually catching up on all the inputs for the red circuits. That's great, actually. So even the plastic is catching up, at least close to it. Yeah, productivity modules seem to be having a dramatic effect, especially by the time we get through all of these stages of them. Alright, so processing unit is 98%. We're going to see what that gives us. Probably, if it's easy enough, we're just going to throw it together. And then probably end the stream right around then. Alright, 99% processing unit. Almost there. And any second now. There we go. Alright, processing unit just gives us this, which is green, red circuits, and sulfuric acid. Yikes. Yeah, the fluids are not convenient to make. The fluids are really not convenient to make. Alright, so we're going to have to probably just return to that later. So, let's see, my goals for next time, I got like 15% of the way through setting up concrete, and then I just sort of got distracted and stopped. But we should do this at some point. Just get faster movement around here. And then we also need to set up the oil production. And then the electric engine is, again, going to be something that we need oil for, but should give us all sorts of fancy stuff down the line with robotics. But I think we are going to call the stream there. We have a lot to do next stream. Got a pretty solid amount done here. We destroyed the biggest, scariest biter nest. We made a whole new type of science production. We finally got past the annoying coal burning smelters, which is nice. And yeah, that's about that. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Had a lot of fun here today. Make sure to follow if you haven't already. I stream Factorio Tuesdays and Thursdays from 2 to 5 Eastern Time. And I also stream Satisfactory on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays at the same times. So if you're interested in factory building games, I do all sorts. So yeah, I'd say that's about it. Thanks for hanging out. And I will see you